Welcome to the Vitality Equation, exploring research in health and well-being one paper at a time. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of research titled Estradiol Alters Actin and Protrusion Dynamics in Endometriotic Epithelial Cells. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but trust me, it has some really interesting implications for how we approach women's health and perhaps even overall well-being.
Absolutely. When I first saw this title, my immediate thought was, okay, another study looking at endometriosis. But the more I dug into it, the more I realized this goes way beyond just understanding the disease itself. It's about understanding the intricate dance between hormones, cellular behavior, and potentially even cognitive processes.
Yeah, it's not just a biological process. It's about how our daily lives can impact the way hormones influence us. Estradiol impacting cell structure, that feels like it has implications for lifestyle interventions, exercise, sleep, everything really.
Exactly, and that's what I found so exciting. So for our listeners who maybe aren't familiar with the nitty-gritty biology, estradiol is a form of estrogen, a primary female sex hormone. Endometriosis, as some of you know, is a condition where tissue similar to the lining of the uterus grows outside of it, causing pain and other complications. But the key here is actin and protrusion dynamics. These are cellular level processes. Actin is a protein that forms filaments, and these filaments are crucial for cell shape, movement, and interaction with its environment. Protrusions are like little extensions that cells use to reach out and explore or to move.
Right, so think of actin as the scaffolding of the cell, and these protrusions as little exploratory arms. What this study shows is that estradiol directly influences how the scaffolding is built and how these arms reach out in endometriotic cells. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it suggests that the hormone isn't just a signal, it's actively reshaping the cell itself, almost like a sculptor molding clay.
And that sculpting process can be influenced, right? That's the exciting part. If we can understand how estradiol is altering these cells at this fundamental level, then maybe we can find ways to counteract those changes through non-pharmaceutical interventions. Think exercise, sleep patterns, even diet.
Yes, and that's where my mind went immediately. I've been learning about how estradiol isn't just a hormone impacting the uterus. It's intricately linked to the structure and function of endometrial cells at a cellular level. This reinforces the idea that even seemingly minor adjustments to daily routines can have significant impacts. Like, imagine that consistent meditation or a specific diet could actually influence the shape and movement of these cells. That's a powerful thought.
It is. It makes you think about the potential for personalized interventions. We often talk about personalized medicine in terms of genetics. But what if we could personalize interventions based on these cellular dynamics? For example, could we use cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to influence these processes?
Okay, that's a leap, but I see where you're going. How would CBT come into play with cell structure?
Well, think about it this way. We know that stress and anxiety can influence hormone levels, including estrogen. And we know that CBT can be incredibly effective in managing stress and anxiety. If estradiol is directly affecting cell structure, and our mental state influences estradiol levels, then it's not a stretch to suggest that CBT could indirectly influence actin and protrusion dynamics. It's like a feedback loop.
That's fascinating, Otto. I've always advocated for a mind-body connection, but this takes it to a whole new level. So you're suggesting that by restructuring thought patterns, we might actually be able to change cellular behavior.
Potentially, yes. We know that CBT can alter neural pathways. If hormones influence these pathways, and these pathways influence cellular function, then it's a plausible connection. Perhaps specific CBT techniques can effectively modify these cellular processes, maybe by changing how the brain interprets hormonal signals or the body responds to them.
I'm still wrapping my head around the CBT angle, but I definitely see the connection between lifestyle and hormones. This makes me wonder about exercise. Could specific types of exercise be more effective at mitigating the effects of estradiol on these cells? Like, would high-intensity interval training HIIT have a different impact compared to something like yoga or Pilates?
That's a great question, and it aligns with what I've been considering. Perhaps a holistic approach combining specific mindful movement practices with a mindful diet could positively affect the hormonal response in endometriosis. The implications for preventative care are fascinating. If mindful movement like yoga or Tai Chi could influence actin and protrusion dynamics in endometrial cells, how could we design a specific meditation practice that might improve the cellular processes related to estradiol's effect?
Right. And it's not just about the type of exercise, but also the timing and duration. What if exercising at a certain time of day, when hormone levels are naturally fluctuating, could have a more significant impact? Or what if combining exercise with specific sleep hygiene practices could further enhance the positive effects?
This also touches on the idea of emotional regulation. We know that sleep deprivation can impair emotional processing, and that exercise can improve it. If estradiol is influencing cell structure in a way that contributes to emotional dysregulation, then improving sleep and exercise habits could be a way to counteract that effect at a cellular level.
That's such a good point. It's fascinating to think that better sleep and controlled exercise might not just boost physical performance, but actually change the neurological response to emotional situations, potentially leading to a more balanced emotional experience. This could be a powerful tool for reducing emotional overwhelm and improving mental wellness.
This really highlights the complexity of the human body, doesn't it? It's not just about treating symptoms, it's about understanding the root causes at a cellular level and finding ways to influence those causes through lifestyle and behavioral changes.
Absolutely. And it underscores the importance of a systems biology approach, where we look at the whole interconnected network of factors influencing health, rather than just focusing on isolated variables. I think it's really encouraging that this type of deep learning approach could help understand complex interactions.
I agree. It's like we often think of exercise and sleep as separate things, but they're so intertwined. If we can understand how they interact at a molecular level, we can create more effective and personalized interventions.
It's also about empowering individuals to take control of their own health. Knowing that simple lifestyle changes can have such a profound impact on cellular processes is incredibly motivating. It makes you want to experiment and find what works best for you, right?
Definitely. It's about moving away from a one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare and towards a more personalized and proactive model. Instead of just reacting to illness, we're actively shaping our health through informed choices.
And I think that's the key takeaway here. This research, while focused on endometriosis, has broader implications for how we understand the mind-body connection and the potential for lifestyle interventions to influence cellular processes and overall well-being.
Exactly. This finding suggests a potential pathway for lifestyle interventions. I wonder if incorporating mindfulness practices during lifestyle changes like a healthy diet could enhance the effectiveness of these approaches by fostering a greater sense of self-awareness and emotional regulation during the process.
Right. So where do we go from here? What are some potential future research directions that come to mind?
From my perspective, I'd love to see more research on the impact of specific exercise types and sleep patterns on actin and protrusion dynamics in various tissues. We need to understand which interventions are most effective for different individuals and under different circumstances. How does the interplay between exercise intensity and duration affect the brain's ability to filter out non-essential sensory inputs in the context of emotional experiences? Maybe incorporating biofeedback techniques during exercise could enhance the focus and mental clarity experienced during workout routines and create a more efficient use of the body's resources.
I agree. We need more personalized research. I'm also interested in exploring the potential of CBT and other cognitive therapies to influence these cellular processes. Can we develop targeted cognitive restructuring approaches that specifically address the hormonal imbalances and cellular changes associated with conditions like endometriosis? How can understanding the cognitive biases inherent in drug interaction prediction, using graph attention networks, inform the development of more robust and ethical CBT techniques for managing potential side effects?
And I think it's crucial to continue investigating the role of mindfulness and meditation in modulating hormonal responses and cellular behavior. Can we design specific meditation practices that target actin and protrusion dynamics in endometriotic cells? Perhaps this information could be used to predict potential synergistic effects of different lifestyle changes. Also, maybe we could see if incorporating mindfulness practices during lifestyle changes like a healthy diet could enhance the effectiveness of these approaches by fostering a greater sense of self-awareness and emotional regulation during the process.
All great points. It really highlights the need for a multidisciplinary approach, bringing together experts in biology, psychology, and lifestyle medicine to tackle these complex issues.
Absolutely. And it's about translating this research into practical, actionable advice that people can use to improve their health and well-being.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on. Thank you for joining us on the Vitality Equation. We hope you found this discussion informative and inspiring. Remember, small changes can have a big impact. Until next time, take care and be well.